Brought to you in association with Grendel Press. This is Werewolf the Podcast, a serial killer drama.
Blue moon, you saw me standing.
Episode 10. Here we go again with Wil and Fen. Give it a 5-star rating out of 5. Sorry. I'm currently being interrogated by the British Army, so I'm answering questions about being a werewolf, and this one's about how the moon affects me, because the moon does affect me. This episode is The Werewolf and the Moon. The bloody moon. That damn lump of rock that blights and rules one aspect of my life. It sits there just all fucking rocky and stuff, probably not knowing what kind of effect it has on us lunatics down here. The moon does have an impact on lots of things. I mean, look at the tides and stuff. The moon's mass gives it a gravitational pull that drags the waters of the world's oceans towards it. Although that force is relatively small, it's enough to cause the rise and the fall of the oceans of the world as the moon bitch moves around us. On the night of the full moon, it has been statistically shown that there is a higher incidence of unusual behaviour in both man and beast. The word lunatic names those affected by this lump of stone in the sky. Lunatics are those that, for an unpolitically correct sentence, is a little weird, or dare I say it, they're a little bit mad when the rocky horse shows her full fat face. Now don't get me wrong, there's no reason for me to hold any animosity towards this large lump, but when you have your cycle linked to it, when you can blame it a little. Women think they've got it bad, they should try to be a fucking werewolf. We get pre-wolf tension, which is an entirely different thing than PMT, ladies. However, I sometimes wonder which would be worse to be subjected to. There's no scientifical reasoning. Yeah, I know that scientifical is not the right word, but that is the word my mum would say when trying to explain a point that she'd had some scientific backing for, so I'm using it. I have my own thoughts on this moon thing. Humans are just over half a sack of water if you believe the popular science press. Then it's about 75% water and 25% other things. This 75% is a little inaccurate, to be honest. There's a percentage of water that changes as you grow. Being really high in the young and less so in the old, you literally dry out as you get older. It's currently thought that the water in an adult is a little more than like 57 to 60% of your body's makeup. If this is the case, you're bound to be affected by the moon's gravity, just like the oceans. It may give us a cause to the effects of the moon on those poor lunatics. Anyway, who knows, but it does have a massive impact on us, especially the doggified percentage. We were created by the light of the full moon, the werewolves that is, and because of that, it does bring the werewolf out on the nights that it shows its face. It's the only night where we don't really have control over our conversion, and the only night we don't have any real power over our own actions. In fact, it is the most dangerous time to be a werewolf, as you remember nothing of your night or what you've done. No hiding your activities when the moon wolf is free. That's where the real stories of the beasts come from. Luckily, I kind of managed to control myself on those nights, not from the fear of killing, but from the fear of the secret becoming known. I can't lock myself away. That always ends up in a mess. I tend to find somewhere I can run free without consequences. A lot less easy to do this in this day and age than in the past, I believe. And not a lot of the world is an open, unwatched, unpopulated space. Okay, the moon does have an effect on your transformation then. That's interesting. There are only a few days before the next one, and that's a mighty small cage that you're sitting in there. I'm sure it would get a little bit tight, the chief smiled. I smiled back at him. I had no counter to the statements he made. If I did transform, then it would be bad for my health. Next question. Do you regret becoming a werewolf and the actions that you undertake? I guess from your previous statements that you don't. But having to deal with being a werewolf, staying hidden and being the monster must at times weigh heavy on you. I'll be honest. It's fucking marvellous, I replied. And that's the end of episode 10. Again, love you. Love from Wil and Fen. Bye.
Brought to you in association with Grendel Press. This is Werewolf the Podcast, a serial killer drama.